I think we actually have a good chance of electing a very progressive candidate to fill the seat where Jim McDermott is retiring. We may actually get a more progressive candidate. By the looks of it, that's where the support is going, especially Pramila Jayapal, who's a longtime activist and very outspoken advocate of immigration rights and environmental issues and the $15 an hour minimum wage. She was a big supporter of Democratic Socialist Shama Sawant during her election campaign for Seattle City Council. Pramila Jayapal, along with Shama Sawant, came out very early endorsing Bernie Sanders, which is another issue, right? Is, you know, all of the congressional delegation and the Democrats in the Congress and the governors around the country who've already prematurely, including Jim McDermott, prematurely endorsed Hillary Clinton on a, quote, unofficial level, but still it set the momentum for the party. Well, we may be, you know, a little bit of a backlash against that kind of corporate Democratic politics, because it looks like Pramila Jayapal is well situated to get Jim McDermott's seat, just given her progressive background. She, if elected, will be much more outspoken and more of a Bernie Sanders style candidate, I think, than the Democrats are used to, and that the U.S. Congress is probably used to. So regardless of what's happening in New Hampshire and other parts of the country, I think the demographics are still continuing in the Northwest, especially in rural areas of the Northwest, moving more and more towards the Democratic Party. So they'd better give people a place to go where they feel like they actually have a choice. You know what I'm saying? Because as the Northwest becomes more progressive and the rest of the country, you know, moves towards a more corporate based system, I think, you know, we may find ourselves feeling even more isolated. But at the same time, if we can get Pramila Jayapal or folks like her in the U.S. Congress, then we'll be moving the progressive agenda further than Jim McDermott was able to do, actually. So a female from originally born in India moved to the United States at the age of 16. So the American dream story, right? An immigrant comes to the United States, gets an education, runs for Congress. And there you go. She's also, I think, another representation of the changing demographics in the Puget Sound area. Technicians, software technicians, biomed scientists, professionals moving to the Seattle area. And, you know, so there you go. It's like the American dream for this whole new generation of Americans. And she represents someone who understands what it's like to be an immigrant and move to a country that, you know, does have a history of racism and challenges to democracy, you know, and she's right there on the forefront at most of the protests and most of the city hall hearings and debates and meetings on issues like homelessness and environmental issues. So I think she's situated to actually move at least that one congressional seat more towards the progressive side than even Jim McDermott was able to do, which is going to be shocking, I think, to a lot of people around the rest of the country.
We're talking with our good friend Mark Taylor-Canfield here on the Jeff Santos Show.